Before I get into the video, I just want to cover a couple of things, just talking about some stuff that's been going on. Not for long, but for one, this is a video that was recorded a long time ago. This was around the time that the video that I did with the gaming clock came out. Maybe, probably a couple of days later, I want to say, but this was recorded months ago, so a few things that you'll hear in the video are kind of outdated. A few things I was actually right about, and that Nathan and I were right about, so I'm really happy about that, actually. Um, it's been a nice little turn of events, so I really hope you all enjoy it, even though it's so long ago. I didn't really have much time to edit anything this week of, writing a script and all that, so this is just a nice little thing to just hold y'all over, but I still think it's an amazing video, easily one of my favorites I've ever done. And, on top of that, it's been a crazy week. It's been a very crazy week, on top of just being busy between classes and chorus and just other things in general. I apparently got exposed this week, so, it's whatever, but I just want to just take a moment and just thank you guys, that the ones that y'all know me and you all know my character. I want to thank you guys for sticking around for so long and for being there for me and knowing my character properly and such, because some people just have their own opinions on people, and that's fine. I'm not going to hold it against them, but that's on their conscience. I'm not mad about it. They're forgiven. Lord knows I don't have time to hold grudges against people just because of how they feel about me. So again, I really just want to thank you guys for sticking around and just supporting me for this long. It honestly means the world to me, and it's those comments that come up when you really need them and stuff like that. It's just, y'all are just such an amazing community of people. So no matter what happens, no matter who exposes us, exposes us next, I'm happy to have y'all around still supporting me regardless, because the numbers don't matter. What matters to me is the community that we've built, and just I'm so thankful for that, thankful to God for that. So enjoy the video, guys. Have a great day, and God bless. だけど今日も徐々に文句なんか言って日常を踊る Crazy noisy pizza town. What is up, guys? It is KJ from AKIRA Network here, and today I have a very special video for you all, where this is one of the topics I've wanted to cover for so freaking long on this channel. Basically, this is just something that's been on my mind forever. It's one of my favorite things concerning Dragon Ball Super, concerning Dragon Ball as a whole and how it's evolved. Just the entire mantra of the entire series has sort of fluctuated per this particular topic today, but I'm not alone in what we're going to be talking about today. First off, everybody please welcome Nathan from Frozen Particles. Say what's up, bro.
Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. Happy to be here, man.
Awesome, man. I'm happy that you could join me on it, though I was hoping that you would say it is the particles time to get frozen. I was hoping you would say that.
Well, maybe next time, bro.
Yeah, maybe next time. But, today, guys, we are talking about how the relationship between Goku and Frieza has evolved. And basically what I mean by that is, yes, these characters will forever hate each other, but there's something deeper there since the Namek arc began. And not even since it began, but since Frieza was initially defeated, up until, Resurrection F, and from that point forward, something between these two characters has changed, that we're going to basically go back and forth detailing what these things are necessarily that affect their relationship. So, with that being said, Nathan, what is your first main point as to how their relationship has kind of sort of evolved as Dragon Ball has gone on?
Well, I think the first point of Goku and Frieza's relationship actually evolving to the point where it currently is now in Dragon Ball Super was actually in the Goku versus Frieza fight itself. As Goku and Frieza, they both hate each other, and that was sort of blossoming throughout the fight when Goku was defeating Frieza, and when Frieza was attacking Goku, they sort of built up a hatred among one another. Frieza, of course, just is racist to Saiyans, end of, and, Goku is obviously angry at Frieza and hates Frieza, especially like because he's been attacking his friends, and also Goku is mad at Frieza because Frieza obviously killed Krillin, Goku's best friend. And then Goku turns into a Super Saiyan and then defeats Frieza. Now, there's a lot that goes into that, and while they do hate each other due to those reasons, they have a mutual respect because they are both extremely talented fighters and they have both pushed themselves to become stronger. Frieza obviously with the, pushing Goku to become a legendary Super Saiyan, not the Broly kind, but sort of the figurative kind. And then Goku, after defeating Frieza coming back, getting his golden form, going straight to Earth to fight Goku again. Not working out because Frieza, has the stamina issues, which Goku points out, by the way. And then Frieza in the Tournament of Power, his stamina issues are removed because he has mastered the golden form. So Frieza, in a sense, has been learning off of Goku, even, subconsciously for a while now, and that has, that's how it's pretty much evolved. So they sort of have some version of mutual respect, but they still hate each other's guts.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely correct for me, at least. I completely agree with that, because these two are, in a sense, the most important things that ever happened to each other's lives, because, as you said, Goku, by being so much stronger than Frieza in his golden form, well, not in his golden form, but in his regular final form, he would eventually try and aspire to become something a lot stronger, that being Golden Frieza. And then, off of Frieza killing Krillin, that would make Goku go Super Saiyan, which Goku going Super Saiyan would essentially change the entire ideology of how this series would work from this point forward. There's been fighting since the beginning, but this would eventually start a trend of evolving to new levels of power and other such things. And going back to the very beginning, Frieza is the main catalyst of this entire series in a way, because he blew up Planet Vegeta, and this would have never really gone down had it not been for Goku going to Earth, getting stronger and such, to go to Namek and eventually face Frieza. Frieza is essentially this. He's always going to be a villain. That's never going to change. But the fact is, there is a mutual sort of respect that is there, as you mentioned. Just the fact that without each of their overpowering of one another, they make each other want to become stronger. I mean, in a way, there are many reasons why I can say that may slightly be the reason for why Goku even mentioned the stamina problem in the first place. Because Frieza, I feel like he knew, but he wasn't really going to admit it for the longest. But Goku pointed that out, and he even told him, you can leave now while you're still winning. You can leave, and I'll fight you again at some point when you're ready. That's not something that you just say to a tyrannical ruler unless you have some other mode of thinking about them. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that this entirely just contradicts everything between Goku and Frieza's hatred for each other, but for me, it doesn't really. Just, for one, if you want to talk about contradicting character relationships, let's talk about Goku and Vegeta, for example. The whole thing that because of Vegeta and Nappa, so many of Goku's friends got killed, and yet he still let this guy go. This is not new for him, and just because it's Frieza, that doesn't change the fact that strong fighters will always have mutual respect for one another, and that's just just another thing that goes really much into it. What else do you have to say on that, man?
Well, I think you make a great point regarding the whole Goku and Vegeta relationship, how Goku still let Vegeta go to fight another day, even though, again, he's killed so many friends of his, injured Krillin and his son, but he still let Vegeta go. And Frieza killing Krillin That, you know, it may just be exclusively because of Krillin, but I also think it's because of the journey that he has been on. Like, Frieza inadvertently has caused Goku so much grief because of the Saiyans invading Earth to try to conquer it. You know, all of this stuff has been because of Frieza. The whole Saiyan invasion, Frieza, essentially. So that's why that could be an overall reason why Goku went Super Saiyan in general. But yeah, like, they just have this mutual respect for each other. We were talking off air a bit before we were started recording, and we almost thought that like respect could be not even the correct term to describe Goku and Frieza's relationship, because of what you said. You know, their relationship is so much more deeper and complicated and hard to figure out than just putting a word on it. So I completely agree with that statement.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I also agree with that for sure, that you know, again, respect may not be the right word here because it's so difficult to really... I don't know, it's hard to really describe the relationship, and it gets even more complicated in Dragon Ball Super, I would say. Because in Resurrection F, there's this... The whole movie revolves around, you know, at least in my opinion, it revolves around Goku and Vegeta's flaws as fighters. It's not so much about Frieza, but it's more so about Goku and Vegeta evolving. And even though the entire movie has this just huge training feel to it, that's because that's kind of what the movie is. It's a whole training thing to, while it shows how strong Frieza has become, it also shows how far Goku and Vegeta have come and how much farther they still have to go, in a way. But one very, very interesting thing about this is, you know, as we said, there's the whole thing where Goku basically makes the remark that, you know, if you weren't such a bad person, we could very well be sparring partners. You know, he has this whole thing where, yes, I know that you killed, you know, my entire bloodline, everyone, like my best friend, Piccolo, even if we want to count the actual arc in Dragon Ball Super, but he still has this whole thing of he still has respect for strong fighters. And again, that I know that's a problem to a lot of people, but again, let's look at Vegeta again. That's just another... I mean, look at where Vegeta came. Like, he's a good guy. And one thing that I do want to mention, you know, as sort of a follow-up question to that, is, does that necessarily make Frieza any less irredeemable?
That is interesting to actually point out there. I think Frieza is absolutely irredeemable. I think no matter what he does in this Tournament of Power, he is still going to be irredeemable, because he is just that guy. He is just the guy that cannot be redeemed, and you're almost diminishing his character if he gets redeemed in any sort of way. If he gets forgiven, oh my god, if he gets forgiven in Dragon Ball Super, that would just ruin me. But anyway, yeah, like, Vegeta has been redeemed, but not Frieza. Buu has even been sort of redeemed in a sense, like with Oob and the reincarnation of Majin Buu. But Frieza is that character that has poisoned so many people's lives, including Vegeta, Goku's, you know, the entire Saiyan race, that he just cannot be redeemed. And that's what makes him such an interesting character, in my opinion, is just the level of power he once had and how it just completely diminishes over the course of not only Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Super as well. He's just an interesting person, and a part of that intrigue, I guess, is the, you know, Goku and Frieza conflict and that personal relationship. And hopefully this gets explored more throughout the Tournament of Power arc, the Universe Survival arc, whatever you want to call it. Again, a good way to increase the stakes is to add personal conflict. A reason why, a Dragon Ball Super spin-off of, I don't know, let's say Universe 2 couldn't really work on its own is because it's not adding Universe 7 or any of the characters we're familiar with, so it's working from the ground up. Thus, it's not something that the audience, at least so far, won't even care about because we don't know those characters. But a good way to add tension is to get the characters we know and love, that we've been watching for decades, and give them a bit of personal conflict, push that personal conflict, and if they do that with Goku and Frieza, that'll be fantastic. I really want this to be explored, and that mutual respect, I want that to be explored fully, and dissected, chopped up, whatever, in this arc. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, starting from the very beginning of what you were saying, I love the whole thing that Toriyama has always had a thing for making the bad guy become the good guy. But Frieza is kind of where that line somewhat has to stop there. Because Frieza is the main baddie that started this entire show revolved around one of his evil deeds. You can't really redeem that necessarily. Now, the one thing is, Frieza's inclusion in the Tournament of Power does not make him redeemable. Is what I meant to say. That entire sentence would have a different meaning if I said it otherwise. But him being included, Frieza is still a villain. He will forever be a villain. But this entire arc currently, and this is why I have an issue with when people criticize it without really even, without even watching it really. My whole issue with that is that one major theme of this arc is just how big the stakes are. And I mentioned this in a video that I recorded with the Gaming Claw a few days back, where basically we're so used to just, planetary destruction, galaxy destruction, stuff like that. We're used to that kind of stuff. So, universal destruction with a lot of viewers that have, grown up and, aren't really that much, like, they see an episode and they're like, oh, that's crazy. We're not like that much anymore for the most part. So, it's these things that happen in the series don't have that much of an impact anymore. It's crazy to say, but that is the case here. We're dealing with universal destruction, and there are still people that are saying the stakes aren't high. Now, if they mean that in relation to Universe 7, sure, but of course we can pretty much assume. I mean, I would like to see it done a different way, but we can pretty much assume that Universe 7 is gonna win more than likely. We can assume that for the most part, but it's just that the stakes are still high. This is about universe destruction. You can't just say the stakes aren't high. And in a situation like that, you have a choice between Frieza, this person who that within 4 months became just as strong as you after years of training, which, just quick anecdotal thing, Saiyans are not just, they attain new levels of power pretty quickly, but other races have different niches, but that's an entirely different video. But anyway, Frieza being included here, it's a thing of, would you rather have Frieza, this guy who can get that strong in 4 months, someone who, yes, he's evil, but someone who is still super, super strong nonetheless, or would you rather Yamcha? Like, I'm sorry to say, viewers from around the world, but this is a case of your universe getting destroyed. I would take the risk of picking Frieza. I don't care what he did to me. That's a risk I'd have to take. This is about your universe, bro. Like, this is more than just a thing of, just the planet's gonna get blown up. No, this is the universe. So yes, Frieza got chosen. That's over and done. But that doesn't change the fact that Frieza will forever be a villain. And one thing that I quickly want to mention is that Frieza, like you said, you made a really good point with this. No matter what he does, he's still irredeemable no matter what. But the reason why I think he's going to do something kind of interesting, there's that whole theory going around about how ending 9 of Dragon Ball Super basically depicts who's going to go out first in the tournament and such. And, Krillin was the first one, so that might be accurate. But one thing that I think was really, really interesting was the fact that Frieza is on this really high platform. And that's, that may just be something that's put on pure coincidence, but everyone else is pretty much on level ground, whereas Frieza is on this entirely different crater of his own. He's completely just up at this upper echelon in a way, but he's just standing there kind of indifferent. I feel like at some point that symbolizes that something is going to happen to where he's going to do something in this arc. It's not going to redeem his character. It's not. But it's going to be something that he does that's debatably, it'll help Goku and the others. He'll have his own reasons for it is the thing, because, he's Frieza. He's no good person. But he's going to do something, I think. And I just worry for the reaction from the fan base when that goes down, because this is still a matter of, has Frieza ever once said that he and Goku are friends? No. And will he ever say that he and Goku are friends? Absolutely not. And if it does, we can revisit this topic. But it's just the idea that the stakes here are so freaking high, and that's just something that I think a lot of people have to acknowledge when they're sort of, a bit nettled by Goku's decision to pick Frieza.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that, man. And also, forewarning to any Yamcha fans out there across the world, we're sorry, but I think we both think that Frieza's a better choice for the tournament of power.
Yeah.
But anyway, about that ending thing, that is a really good point you had there. It's very symbolic, but that could also mean, Frieza could help out because he's on that higher echelon of power, from the way it's cut. But it's also, it also could be like he's gonna rise up and do something evil and try to betray, or maybe it's symbolic of the fact that he thinks he has such a god complex. He thinks he's better.
So it might just be pretentious.
Yeah, maybe. It could be just a reflection of his character. Or it could just be like he thinks he's better, he's gonna betray Universe 7, and then, I don't know what would happen. Plot ensues, I guess.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is one of those character relationships that I think are just really, will forever be interesting to analyze, no matter how one-dimensional it may seem. It's one of those where there's a lot more to it than meets the eye, in a way. This is one thing I love about Super, is that it really seems to be, making a lot of these new concepts that, yes, make it not feel like Dragon Ball, but I think that's a great thing, honestly. It makes it more refreshing to me, and it makes it a lot more, introspective as a series, really, and it makes it a lot easier for me to think deeply about than it was for, Z, the original Dragon Ball, without Forever Reign, the king, but Super, I think, is doing a pretty good job at that. But with that being said, before we close things off, do you have anything else you'd like to add for us today?
So, it's been around for a while. This is not a totally new concept. So, yeah, it's still interesting, nonetheless.
Like you said, there's a lot of this that makes this not really new. But with that being said, guys, if you agree with anything that Nathan and I had to say, please drop a like here, and also comment below your thoughts on this topic. Do you think that Goku and Frieza's relationship has evolved? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Let us know in the comments, because we're actually really interested to know. This is one of those many topics concerning Dragon Ball Super that I think are very polarizing and can be interpreted in multiple ways. But again, everything that we say here, just completely our own opinions on it, as always. Like I always say at the end of my stuff, it's just our views on it. But also, if you enjoyed it, share the video with people that you know and people that you don't know, but that you just want to hear some of my videos, in which case, thank you. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new. And one more quick thing, if for some reason you haven't subscribed to the Frozen Particle, it's the Particle Get Frozen. Nathan, if you haven't subscribed to the one, the only, do it himself, please go down to the description where I've linked his channel, and please do so, because this man makes some incredible content. He's producing very frequently, frequently, and along with that, he has some very interesting topics, like incredibly interesting stuff that you're not going to want to miss anything that this man does. So again, if you have not subscribed to the Frozen Particle, just pause the video, do that right now, and just, you know, binge watch all of his videos because he deserves that. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all have an amazing day. I hope you all, you know, continue to just aspire for the greatest things in your lives known to man. And, you know, I love you all so much. Don't let anyone change who you are. And God bless. Peace out, you guys.
And even through the hating and walls, they thought I'd stay in. Who you playing? I done went Super Saiyan. This, that, off the glass, off the floor, off the board jam. We in the building, you wish.